I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a board-certified urologist, and for over 15 years, I've specialized in helping men over 50 reclaim their energy, their focus, and their vitality. Let me ask you something personal. When the day is finally done, when the noise stops, and you finally sit down in your favorite chair, what is your ritual? What is that one thing you reach for to tell your body and your mind that it's time to unwind? For millions of men, this is a sacred moment, a well-deserved reward. But let me ask you this, how do you feel when you wake up? When that alarm goes off at 6 a.m., do you feel truly rested? Do you feel recharged, clear-headed, and ready for the day? Or do you feel a little heavy? A little foggy? Do you feel like you're running on fumes before the day has even begun, and you need that first cup of coffee just to feel human? Many men I see in my clinic tell me this exact story. They feel off. Their energy is gone, their focus is scattered, and their masculine vitality just isn't there. They blame stress. They blame work. Most of them just blame age. But they almost never blame that relaxing ritual they perform every single night. What if I told you that the very thing you believe is helping you de-stress is actually a silent saboteur? What if that one habit is the primary culprit destroying your deep, restorative sleep? The precise sleep phase your body needs to balance your hormones, lower inflammation, and repair your blood vessels. What if your nightcap is costing you your manhood? If you're waking up tired, stay with me, because I am about to expose the single worst thing you can drink before bed. It's not soda. It's not coffee. It's something far more common, and I will show you, based on hard science, exactly how it dismantles your hormonal health, and most importantly, what to do tonight to begin the process of restoration. The culprit I'm referring to is alcohol. I know what you might be thinking. Dr. Carter, it's just one glass of red wine. It's good for the heart, right? Or, a small glass of whiskey just takes the edge off. It helps me fall asleep faster. This is, perhaps, the greatest deception when it comes to male vitality. And it's not your fault. We've been told for decades that moderate drinking, especially red wine, is a sophisticated, even healthy, way to unwind. I see hundreds of men who are successful, disciplined, and proactive about their health. They eat well, they try to exercise, but they guard that one glass of wine or that evening beer fiercely. They tell me, "Doctor, it's the only way I can shut my brain off." And here is the dangerous trap. They are technically correct. Alcohol is a sedative. It depresses your central nervous system. It will make you feel drowsy. It will likely help you fall asleep faster than you would if you were just lying there thinking about your day. But the act of falling asleep is not the same as the act of restoring your body. Falling asleep is just step one. What happens in the next 7 to 8 hours is what separates a man who wakes up weak from a man who wakes up powerful. That single drink, that harmless nightcap, initiates a cascade of devastation after you are unconscious. It is a biological bait and switch. You think you are getting rest, but your body is actually entering a state of low-grade stress and disruption, fighting to metabolize the very poison you gave it for relaxation. The illusion of rest is the enemy of true recovery. So, let's look at the science. Let's pull back the curtain on what really happens to your brain the moment you have that drink, and why it's the first domino to fall, leading directly to hormone collapse. To understand what alcohol does, you first have to understand what sleep is supposed to do. Sleep isn't just an off switch. It is an incredibly active, highly structured process. We call this sleep architecture. Throughout the night, your brain and body are meant to cycle through different stages. You go from light sleep into deep, slow-wave sleep, and then into REM, or rapid eye movement sleep. Each stage has a non-negotiable job. Think of deep, slow-wave sleep as your body's physical repair crew. This is when your muscles are mended, your tissues are healed, and your immune system is strengthened. But REM sleep is the executive suite. This is when your brain processes the day, consolidates memory, and cleans itself, flushing out toxic byproducts that build up while you're awake. Most importantly for you, REM sleep is the prime time for hormonal regulation. It's the command center moment that sets the baseline for your testosterone, your cortisol, and your growth hormone for the next 24 hours. Now, here is what happens when you introduce alcohol. That relaxing drink you had right before bed is metabolized by your liver. As it's processed, it creates byproducts like acetaldehyde. These substances are precisely what disrupt your brain's ability to enter and stay in those critical sleep stages. Alcohol specifically and aggressively suppresses REM sleep. You may fall asleep fast. That's the sedation. But your brain never gets the signal to send in the executive repair crew. It's like hiring a team to renovate your house overnight. They show up, turn off the lights, and sit in the living room. But they never pick up a hammer. They never paint the walls or fix the plumbing. You wake up, and the house is a mess. This is why you can sleep for 8, even 9 hours after drinking, and still wake up feeling like you've been hit by a truck. Your body didn't rebuild. It didn't restore. You just time-traveled from a state of intoxication to a state of exhaustion. And this nightly disruption, this consistent robbing of your REM sleep, is the opening shot in a war against your hormones. Here is the connection. It is simple, and it is brutal. Your body's primary production of testosterone happens while you sleep. It's not a 24/7 process. The command to produce this critical male hormone, the hormone that governs your muscle mass, your mental clarity, your energy, and your libido, is given primarily during those deep, restorative REM cycles, the same cycles that alcohol sabotages. But it gets worse. Alcohol doesn't just stop the good stuff from happening. It actively promotes the bad stuff. While your body is struggling to metabolize the alcohol, it interprets this process as a stressor, a form of internal attack. Your liver is working overtime. Your nervous system is agitated. And how does your body respond to stress? It produces cortisol. Cortisol is your fight or flight survival hormone. It's designed to save you from a threat. Here is the essential, non-negotiable law of your endocrine system. Testosterone and cortisol are on a seesaw. They cannot both be high at the same time. When cortisol goes up, testosterone must go down. Your body cannot be in rest and rebuild mode and panic and survive mode simultaneously. So, let's review the nightly disaster you've created with that relaxing drink. You drink alcohol. Your brain's REM sleep is suppressed, which shuts down the factory for testosterone production. At the same time, your body treats the alcohol as a stressor, which cranks up the factory for cortisol production. You have single-handedly created the absolute worst-case hormonal scenario for a man. You are actively replacing your primary male hormone with your primary stress hormone, all while you are unconscious. You aren't unwinding. You are systematically demasculinizing yourself night after night. And when you wake up with depleted testosterone reserves and a bloodstream still flooded with excess cortisol. That morning fog, that feeling of anxiety, that lack of get up and go, that is the feeling of a body that has been steeped in stress hormones for 8 hours. And this hormonal imbalance, this state of high stress and low vitality, has an immediate and physical impact on the one system that matters most for male performance, your circulation. This hormonal chaos, this state of high cortisol and low testosterone, is not just an abstract problem. It has immediate physical consequences, and it all comes down to your blood flow. inside your body, you have over 60,000 miles of blood vessels. Their inner lining is a delicate, intelligent layer of cells called the endothelium. I often call this the command center for your circulation. It's the brain of your entire vascular system. The primary job of a healthy endothelium is to release a miracle molecule called nitric oxide, or NO. Nitric oxide is the master signal that tells your blood vessels to relax, to widen, to become flexible, and to allow life-giving blood to flow freely to every organ, every muscle, and every cell in your body. Your energy, your brain function, your heart health, and your sexual function are all 100% dependent on this single molecule. Now, look at what we've learned. First, testosterone. Testosterone is a crucial supporter of nitric oxide production. When your testosterone levels are healthy, your body is primed to produce ample nitric oxide. When your T levels crash every night, your nitric oxide production plummets right along with it. Second, cortisol. High chronic cortisol, the very hormone you are flooding your body with by drinking, is poison to your endothelium. It causes inflammation. It makes your blood vessels stiff and rigid. It is a powerful vasoconstrictor, the literal opposite of nitric oxide. It screams at your blood vessels to tighten up. Think of your circulatory system like a garden hose. Nitric oxide is what keeps the hose wide open, allowing a powerful, steady stream of water to nourish your entire garden. The nightly alcohol habit, by destroying testosterone and raising cortisol, is like someone stepping directly on that hose. The water pressure builds up, but the flow is choked off. This is what you feel in the morning. That fog in your brain, that's a brain starved of oxygen-rich blood. That physical fatigue in your muscles, that's a body that can't get the fuel it needs. That lack of morning vitality, that is a direct physical failure of circulation. It's not just age. It is a nightly, self-inflicted strangulation of your body's life force. This pattern is predictable. I see it every week. Let me tell you about one of my patients. We'll call him Robert. Robert was 64 when he first came to my office. He was a successful architect, a sharp guy, still running his own firm. But he was exhausted. He told me, "Dr. Carter, I just don't have the drive I used to. By 3 p.m., my brain is mush. I wake up feeling like I've run a marathon. My mornings, they're just gone. My wife is worried. Honestly, I'm worried." We went through his lifestyle. His diet was reasonable. He walked his dog every day. But when I asked about his evenings, he said, "Oh, that's the one thing I do for myself. I have 1, sometimes 2, glasses of good red wine every night. It's my reward. And it's for my heart health, right?" He was convinced the wine was his friend. He was certain his problem was just being 64. I looked at his blood work. His morning testosterone was low. His cortisol was high. He was a perfect textbook case of a body under chronic, invisible stress. I proposed a simple experiment. "Robert, I don't want to put you on any medication. Not yet. I just want you to do one thing for me. For 21 days, I want you to replace that wine with something else. I want you to give your body 21 nights of actual rest and see what happens." He was skeptical. He really didn't want to give up that ritual. But he was also desperate, so he agreed. He told me later the first 3 nights were hard. He felt restless. He missed the ritual. But on the 4th morning, he said he woke up. Clear. The fog was a little thinner. By the end of the first week, he was sleeping through the night without waking up at 3 a.m. By the end of the second week, he was waking up before his alarm clock, feeling, in his words, plugged in. When he came back to my office after 21 days, he was a different man. He was smiling. His energy was bright. He sat down and said, "Doc, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like my body just woke up from a 10-year nap. I have my mornings back. My focus is back. I had absolutely no idea I was doing that to myself, night after night. All we did was get out of the way. We stopped the nightly sabotage of his REM sleep. We stopped the nightly flood of cortisol. We gave his body the chance to heal itself. And it did. So, the question is, what do you replace that ritual with? You can't just leave a void. You must replace a destructive habit with a restorative one. You must replace the ritual. Your brain craves that closure to the day, that signal that the work is done. So let's replace a ritual of depletion with a ritual of restoration. What I recommended to Robert, and what I recommend to you tonight, is a simple, powerful, and science-backed alternative. A small glass of pure, unsweetened tart cherry juice. Why this? Because unlike alcohol, which sedates your brain and blocks REM sleep, tart cherry juice works with your body's natural biology. It is one of the very few natural food sources of melatonin. This isn't a sedative, like a sleeping pill or alcohol. It doesn't knock you out. Instead, it signals your brain, gently telling your pineal gland that it is time to begin the process of deep, restorative sleep. It helps you get into those critical REM cycles and stay there. But it does a second, equally important job. Remember that fire of inflammation caused by high cortisol? Tart cherries are packed with deep red pigments, a type of anthocyanin. These are powerful compounds that act as a fire extinguisher for the inflammation in your body. They actively reduce oxidative stress. So, let's compare the two choices for your nightcap. On one hand, alcohol. It suppresses REM sleep, spikes your stress hormone cortisol, and stops testosterone production. It is an act of nightly sabotage. On the other hand, tart cherry juice. It supports your natural sleep cycle with melatonin, and it fights inflammation with antioxidants. It is an act of nightly repair. So, here is your new ritual. About 45 minutes before you want to be asleep, gently warm a small 4 to 6 ounce glass of pure tart cherry juice. Don't add sugar. Put it in a nice glass. Sit in your chair. Sip it slowly. You are giving your body the exact nutrients it needs to rebuild itself. You are sending a powerful signal that it is time to heal, to produce testosterone, and to restore your vitality. If cherry isn't for you, another powerful option is a warm cup of tea with magnesium glycinate. Magnesium is the body's master relaxation mineral. It calms the nervous system and prepares you for sleep. This is the choice, and it's a simple one. This is where you take back control. It's not about superhuman willpower. It's not about a complicated diet or an impossible workout routine. It's about one small, intelligent decision made at the end of your day. The choice is yours. You can choose the ritual of depletion, the one that sedates you but steals your vitality in the dark. Or you can choose the ritual of restoration, the one that works with your biology, signaling to your body that it is safe to heal, safe to rebuild, and safe to restore your masculine energy. Robert's story is not a miracle. It is the predictable, biological rule. When you stop poisoning your sleep, your body will respond. It wants to heal. So here is my invitation to you. I want you to try this tonight. Just for 1 week, run the experiment. Make that single swap. Replace the drink that destroys your REM sleep with the drink that supports it. Give your body 7 nights of uninterrupted, high-quality, restorative sleep. 7 nights without a flood of cortisol. 7 nights with the green light for testosterone production. And just observe. Observe how you feel when you wake up. Observe the clarity in your mind. Observe the steady energy in your body that you thought was lost to age. You have nothing to lose but the fatigue. Your body isn't broken. It hasn't forgotten how to be powerful. It is simply waiting for you to stop the nightly disruption and remind it. If this message gave you hope, hit that like button and please comment below. Tell me one small change you are willing to make tonight to start this process. I read every comment. Subscribe for more science-backed habits to help you master your vitality, and share this with another man who you know is waking up tired. You could change his life. This isn't about living forever. It's about living well, with energy and with power, for as long as you are here. Start tonight.